Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Shotsuki service for the month of August. Nice to have everyone here and there joining in on the service. Hopefully you have all printed out the items you need to be able to participate in this service. And if you look over, I think you will notice that we have the Sloth family here again, and they are so appreciative. They think it is very special that the Joshin Shotsuki service that means so much to our families, that through recognizing people we've lost in our families, we are able to connect not only to our families, but through them to Amida. And so this makes it very special, and they are admirers of our Shotsuki service. And you'll notice that parents, Sadie and Sho, have their masks on, and everyone has gloves on. Tsuki is there as well. And reminding us again, continue to be safe and cautious. Wear your masks and gloves wherever you go, and wash your hands diligently, carefully, quite often, all throughout the day. And they all have their onenju on, and so they are ready for service. I'd like to go through the Shotsuki service order with you. We're going to have the reading of the Hyobyakumon, and this will be followed by the reading of the Shotsuki names for this month. And during the reading of the names, please come up here at your homes to offer incense or whatever you have set up to accommodate this portion of the service. After the reading of the names, I'll take my seat on the Onaijin to chant the Sambujo and Amida Kyo. We're doing half the Amida Kyo and a silent meditation. Then I'll come back to provide a brief Dharma message, and we have a special guest appearance by Reverend Takashi Miyaji. He will be here to say hello to everyone here, and starting next week, he'll be able to accommodate the services and provide them for our Sangha here at the Southern Alameda County Buddhist Church. So with that, we will begin with the reading of the Hyobyakumon. Please join me in Gassho. Today, on this occasion of the Shotsuki service for month of August, members of the Southern Alameda County Buddhist Church have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. Namo Kiya Butsu, Namo Kiya Ho, Namo Kiya So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of August. Again, please come up in Oshoko during the reading of the names. Shibata, Yoshio, Fudenna, Takeo, Kamiji, Kumachio, Tanaka, Gengo, Jayawira, Saranelis, Misaki, Takao, Matsumoto, Ben, Kato, Masato, Sueyasu, Tamako, Kotake, Shitoyo, Kinoshita, Katsuyoshi, Hiramine, Shie, Hashimoto, Shizue, Okamura, Robert, Sueo, Fujitani, Kei, Katsuko, Tomotoshi, Mary, Mariko, Sato, Fumiko, Yoshioka, Masaru, Geisik, Joy, Lee, Hamasaki, Helen, Katsumoto, Hideo, Kawamoto, Sadako, Kawahara, Francis, Noma, Nobuo, Yamauchi, Sanosuke, 山口時代、友俊亮、浜本静馬、梶原浜、鶴井、清子、田代、Wataru, Abe, Melissa. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of August. If there are additions or corrections, please notify the office. Now we have the chanting of the Sambujo and the Amida Kyo.
館陰と無料商店大祝に自分語道路者利用重税裁縫果樹満足分動世界上腕極楽合の部分語阿弥陀根源在説法者利を移動が公明意極楽語国衆上無宿単重省楽公明極楽者利法極楽国土七十何十七十何も七十五十改税司法収葬異名税公非国明安極楽者利法極楽国土七法地悪六水十万五種地体順に本社富士支援会の今後ルリアリ五条上老各役員今後ルリアリ社交釈主名の二言実施自中連芸大名社林小式小公大式陽公釈式釈公白式白公微妙高血者利用国土上重量税空毒将軍者利用二部国土上差天学王維持昼夜六時二遊万だらけ語国衆上上位小単各位英国上州名家不要他方十万の部分即位時期次元と本国時期行業者利用国楽国土上重量税空毒将軍物資者利法異国上部主従奇妙座敷市長白虎空弱大武者利下領民が愚名市長聖書州長長夜六時水和下音高音年長東根合力七宝大分発祥の文様税東方行動修上門税四に大質年仏年法年祖者利用尿物意市長実税祭法少々小医者が利部国土無三幕州者利用五部国土小無三幕同士名画教部実税書州庁改税闇だ物欲量本線流園芸少佐者利用利部国土未付水道小法五十流法なも水味妙音利妙百千十学土地府さ門税四社開示年上年分年法年相死神者利用五部国土長寿尿税空毒将軍
Namanda, 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 namanda. Namanda, namanda, namanda. Silent meditation. Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namanda, 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 namanda. Namanda, 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 namanda. Good morning once again, everyone. Nice to have everyone here for this Shotsuki service for the month of August. And being August, I thought it would be appropriate to talk a little bit about the bombings in Hiroshima, Nagasaki. This year is the 75th anniversary of that bombing. Very difficult and time that we endured 75 years ago. At that time, with the two cities combined, I believe over 100,000, maybe 105,000 people died. And adding injuries, there's almost 200,000 people that were injured or had died during those two attacks on Japan. And some of you might know the story of Takashi Tanimori. He spent the later part of his years in Berkeley, so some of you might know of him, have heard his story, or maybe know him personally. So, very touching story to hear about him. He was 8 years old when the bomb dropped, and he was in Japan, and he went to school early that day because he wanted to go and play with his friends. They would try to go to school early and play a little bit of hide and seek before the classes would begin. So he hurried off to school and was on the school grounds, and then the attack occurred. And so because of that attack, he had thoughts in mind. He had lost so much of his family that he wanted to have revenge against the Americans. I wanted to get even with the Americans. They dropped the bomb and destroyed my family, and especially losing my dad. He talks about his dad saying, my dad was like the sun. He was the captain of the ship. Americans put me through all of this. And so when he was 19 years old, he was able to move to America, and with these thoughts in mind that he wanted to get even. And so he lived here in America when the bomb dropped. He lost 6 members of his family, 2 sisters and both parents and both grandparents. And so he and 3 other siblings, 4 of them, somehow were able to live and continue on. And so he was so young, it's hard to believe. He was recalling recollections of that actual day, talking about the blinding white light, nothing so white that he had ever seen before. And he heard voices coming, and he could hear someone, a classmate, saying, I'm burning, come help me, I'm burning. And then there was no more voice anymore. And one of the Japanese soldiers found him in the rubble, carried him to the banks of the river that runs through Hiroshima, and placed him down by the water to help cool off his burns. And a lot of us certainly have seen the images of kimono patterns, you know, burned into the pigment of women's bodies, and terrible heat that had come from that atomic bomb. He remembered a lady walking by, calling to her children, and she would walk by with a baby on her back and calling her children, and as she walked by, he could see the baby had lost its head, and so she's carrying this decapitated baby on her back and just calling, and so he never could forget such an image that he had to see at that time. So through that, he came here with ideas of seeking revenge. But later on, as he went through his life, early on, he had a heart attack, and then he started to go blind, so he was losing his visions. And thinking of that, I remember my time at the Institute of Buddhist Studies, starting to go through my education as a Buddhist minister, to become a Buddhist minister, and Kusada Sensei was there leading IBS, and he would go regularly to Japan to do these checkups because he was one of the survivors of the Hiroshima bombing, and so regularly he would go to Japan and they would do these tests on him. So he would always have on his schedule to go to Japan and to have these tests done at a regular interval. So thinking of him as well, as I heard these stories of this gentleman here in Berkeley. So as he went through his life and these changes, going blind, kind of changed his mind to no longer seek revenge, but to share what he experienced so people could know firsthand what it was like, and to never forget what it was, the pain and suffering and that was caused by the dropping of this bomb. So he would go to grammar school groups and different kind of groups and tell his story all throughout the Bay Area, particularly the East Bay. He would go to a lot of the grammar schools and meet with these children. He would talk in front of the children and perhaps their parents as well as their teachers, and for all of these people to learn and hear firsthand how someone was affected by this atomic bomb certainly leaves a much more enduring impression of what had happened, what people had to go through at that time. And so through these stories, we kind of know, we are always reminded here at the temple of our limitations as human beings, and the wisdom and compassion that we try to see, the infinite wisdom and compassion of Amida, and to see that our own wisdom and compassion is limited, and always limited through our bonno and our self-centeredness, the three poisons that we live with, greed, anger, and ignorance. And so this is, as we look at this story, we can see not only on a personal and individual level, but on a national level as well. The leaders of countries have these same three poisons that they filter their choices and their decisions with and through. And still today, we see these same kind of choices being made, and they affect countries, not only our countries, but at a world level, affecting how different countries interact with each other and what all our citizens of the world have to go through and endure. So we see the truth of the Dharma being played out again and again and again. And it's a tremendous thing that Mr. Tanomori is able to speak. I don't know if he's still doing this, but I know he had planned to go to Japan this year, being the 75th anniversary of the bombing, and he wanted to be there for such a historic and significant date in world history. So I wanted to share this story with all of you, and hopefully we can all reflect upon our own greed, anger, and ignorance, and this continuing to play out on a national level today. So this will conclude our service for today. I would like to bring up Reverend Takashi Miyaji, and he will have a few words for you before we conclude completely and close with Gassho. So
Hello everyone, my name is Reverend Takashi Miyaji, and I came from the Tacoma Buddhist Temple, but I originally grew up in Los Angeles, California, and went through the whole school system over there, and went to UC Berkeley, to Cal, and then also to the Institute of Buddhist Studies, which is in Berkeley, California, as well as studied in Japan in a university called Ryukoku University, which is located in Kyoto, Japan. Let's see what other, I had some notes here that I wanted to talk about. So I was at the Tacoma Buddhist Temple for 2.5 years. I really enjoyed my time over there. The people over there have been great and fantastic. So it was kind of a bittersweet moment leaving from Tacoma and then coming here, but I'm very excited to be down here. One of the things that happened to me was on the road down here, I hit a deer, and the deer just came out of nowhere and just brushed up against a car. I swerved in the right way, so it didn't create any damage, but it was a big shock. And so I guess one of the things that is that you never know what can happen in every day, and I guess that's what Buddhism is partly trying to convey to its Sangha members. But I did not know I was coming to Southern Alameda County Buddhist Church. I did not know I was going to Tacoma initially either. So it's funny what life brings you, and I'm glad to be here. I will start on August the 1st, and I will also be working part-time at the Institute of Buddhist Studies as well. So I look forward to meeting everyone here. Thank you very much. I will say a few words in Japanese as well. 皆さん、こんにちは、タコマ仏教会からやってきました宮地隆と申します。私はこう見えて、本当は、アメリカ人なんですけれども、両親は、日本から、来ました。父は、40年間余り、北米海峡区の海峡師をしていまして、また同じく、私の叔父にあたりますが、宮地明夫、also また、海峡師の仕事も、していました。一時期、この、Southern Alameda County Buddhist Church の、海峡師でもありました。そうですね、私の日本語はそんなに上手ではないんですけれども、皆さんと共に、念仏の見教えを、聴聞していきたいと思います。どうぞこれからよろしくお願い申し上げます。
Okay, so this will conclude the service for today. Thank you very much for joining us here and there. And very nice. I really appreciated having the opportunity to be able to provide services for you, and along the way being able to work with and meet some of the members of the temple here. And I look forward to continuing to have our relationship just up the road, and when we are able to resume our activities and festivities, I'll be able to come down here and enjoy food and goodies with all of you. So I'm looking forward to that. Please make sure you stop by and say hello to you both, Sharmon and myself. Thank you very much. Please come up in Oshoko here and at your homes, whether you've lit incense or providing flower petals or rock pebbles or marbles, however you have set up your home altars to be. Thank you again for being here.